Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So in this episode of Review Flicks, we're going to be talking about Until Dawn, the movie horror game, and we're going to be jumping into all the details we have so far on the movie adaptation. So if you are new around here, consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the movie and streaming news we have going on the channel. And with that down, we're going to be jumping into this article from Fear HQ, Until Dawn, movie adaptation of interactive horror video game from director David F. Sandberg is in the works. So, a feature adaptation of a popular survival horror video game, Until Dawn, is in the works with Shazam! Fury of the Gods and Annabelle creation director David F. Sandberg set to helm. So guys, I know this news came out last week, so I do apologise, I'm a bit late to it. But ever since this news came out, I've gone back to, watching playthroughs on YouTube of this game. If you haven't seen this game before, guys, I really do recommend looking it up. It's really fun to watch. If you get a good YouTuber who can do good reactions to the game, there's a lot of jump scares. And the main point of the game is kind of like a movie, and then you have critical points within the game where you can choose what happens if you save people, if people die. And it's all up to the decisions that you make. How they're going to incorporate that into the movie is going to be anybody's guess, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it. But let's keep reading and see what we can learn about this movie adaptation. So, quote, "Understand the palm of my hand, bitch." I'm not quite sure what that's from. Maybe it's part of the game I haven't got to yet in my playthrough. But yeah, I'm sure it's a quote from one of the characters. So, Lights Out and Annabelle creation director David F. Sandberg. Lights Out was incredible and Annabelle creation was pretty good as well. So I'm excited that he's on this project. Said that he would be considering a return to the horror genre after Shazam! Fury of the Gods. That movie was trash. And the filmmaker's next project will be a feature adaptation of 2015's interactive drama horror video game, Until Dawn. Like I keep saying, I've said it numerous times on the channel in different videos now, video game adaptations is going to be the next big thing in Hollywood. All of these games are being adapted at the moment. It's going to take over the superhero genre because it's in decline, and video games are going to be the next big thing. Trust me on that. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Sandberg will helm the movie for Screen Gems and PlayStation Productions, with Annabelle and the Nun writer Gary Dauberman working on parts of the script, which was originally penned by the Invitation scribe Blair Butler. So Dauberman has an adaptation of Stephen King's Salem Lot in the pipeline, but the movie still doesn't have a release date. Last we heard, there was talk of it sending it directly to streaming. He's also developing a live-action take on the 1980s animated series Gargoyles for Disney+. That's a really bizarre kind of project to bring up from the 1980s, a live-action version of the 1980s animated Gargoyles series. I mean, it takes all kinds. I mean, if people like that, then fair enough. But I guess you can make it like a gothic kind of horror style. I mean, it could be cool. So, Dauberman, I think that's how you say his name, Dauberman or Dauberman, signed a first look deal with Screen Gems and Sony to deliver a slate of horror movies last year. Is producing under his coin-operated banner. Sandberg and Lotta Lostin also on board as producers via their Mangata Shingle, as well as Roy Lee of Vertigo Entertainment and PlayStation Productions, Assad Quillsbash and Carter Swan. Sorry if I butchered any of those names. So, Until Dawn was developed by Supermassive Games and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 4. So, this is what the actual game is about. I know I explained it at the beginning of the video, but this probably does a little bit of a better job. So, players assume control of 8 young adults who have to survive on Blackwood Mountain when their lives are threatened. The game features a butterfly effect system in which players must make choices that they may change the story. All playable characters can survive or die depending on the choices made. Players explore the environment from a third-person perspective and find clues that may help or solve the mystery. Yeah, so one of the great things about this game that you don't get from a lot of games, the game plays out depending on the decisions that you make, and characters either live or die depending on the actions that you take at certain parts of the narrative. So there'll be a scene where, you can decide to pick up a weapon or not pick up a weapon, or you can decide to, play a prank on someone or not. And depending on what you do in certain parts of the game, it has a knock-on effect to further parts of the game down the line. And those decisions can help you or they can hinder you, depending on what you choose. If you make other characters hate you, then obviously that could have a knock-on effect, or if you make them like you, that could help you out. But how they're going to factor that into the movie, because part of what makes this game unique is that decision-making process within the game. You decide who lives and dies depending on the decisions you make. So how would they incorporate that into the movie? The problem is, if you remove that mechanic from the movie, obviously you would have to because there's no way you could incorporate that, then is it really going to be the same, is Until Dawn, the movie, really going to be the same thing as the game? It's hard to kind of tell at this point. For those of you who played it, you probably understand what I'm saying. If you haven't seen it, as I say, go on YouTube, guys, watch a playthrough. It's like a horror movie. It's really, really cool. It's a really unique story. The characters are quite fun. The story is really kind of gory as well. It's kind of like a Saw. There's these kind of like traps set up where people die and stuff. And, it's really good. If you're a horror fan, you'll really, really enjoy it. So the game features a mysterious killer and a cannibalistic Wendigos. So we assume the movie will follow suit. Plot details are still under wraps, but Screen Gems is describing it as an R-rated love letter to the horror genre, centering on an ensemble cast. So the game's voice cast includes these people here. I'm not going to read all these names because I'll butcher them. So if you want to pause and have a read of the names, guys, go for it. So no release date has been announced. Tell us, have you played Until Dawn? So, and then we've got the trailer here. We don't have any comments on the article. So, like I say, guys, I'm really, really excited because for all of those people out there who are watching, who have played this game or watched a playthrough on YouTube, it's a really fantastic kind of playthrough. The premise is great. You take a bunch of 20-year-olds and you put them on a mountain, and there's a serial killer, and there's like supernatural Wendigos that kind of move around and they kill people, and you make decisions to save or kill people. And yeah, it's a really interesting, it's a really interesting concept. But how you adapt that into a movie, once you remove the player's decisions out of the concept of Until Dawn, I'm not sure how the movie would work. But, if they can adapt it and if they can make it succeed, then all go for it. Go for it. I'd be really excited to see how they do it. But guys, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. Are you excited for an Until Dawn movie adaptation? Or like me, are you hesitant that the fact that the movie is going to remove the core mechanics of what makes Until Dawn unique? I'd love to know what you have to say about that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.